Hi everyone, so season 28 is out for a little while and I have received a lot of questions on my stream from people asking about the altar of rites. How does this work? What should I unlock? What to do with the primals and these kind of things. So I figured to do a little FAQ sum up here and go for everything in a moment. So let's go. Let's start with the items have no level requirement for leveling. I guess not really relevant for most people anymore. But this only works for the player with any items that you have. So you can get items from other people and use them, but you cannot craft items and give them to others for them to use at level 1. Next, the pools. So the pools are basically a one-time click and forget. Just when you make a new character, you click a pool once and it will forever be there. So you see this here, I have the yellow bar, that means I'm pooled, and it just keeps going on and on and on whenever it runs out for free. Then there's the movement speed. It literally says here uncapped, but a lot of people did not understand. So this stacks with your paragons or with whatever you have on your movement speed on the boots or something like that. It's a bonus. Next, the vigor. So this is something that is either really good for your build because you need resources, or it's useless because you don't. So that depends on what you're playing. In our guides on Maxroll, for example, we do have the path mapped out either with or without this early, or getting it late, depending on what you need. So for example, here I'm playing a multi-shot demon hunter. This is a very good node because you spend resources all the time multi-shotting, and like this you're basically permanently full. The same applies, for example, for Raker Barbs, Tarasha Wizards, even Bone Spear Necros. But for example, some build like Whirlwind Barb or Nova Necro, they don't need resources at all, or even like God Demon Hunter, it's not really that important. Next we have the double DBs. This does stack with the double DBs from Sage. On the other hand, it makes Sage absolutely redundant, so there's not really a reason to run Sage or even get this node very early. This was like literally the last node that I took on the entire thing, I believe, because yeah, you can't spend all these DBs, so at some point you just have way too many. I've already done a lot of bounties, and you see I don't have anywhere close to enough materials to actually get rid of my DBs, even if I wanted. So just saying. Then we have the pass ability. In case you don't know what this is the illusory boots effect. You can walk through enemies, you can walk through wallers. I also got a lot of comments about this extra globe. So the way that this works is that the globe drops on you, not on the pack. So this is why you might miss it. A lot of people told me that they felt this wasn't working. It does. But it drops at a different spot and also has a slightly different timing, so it's easy to miss. And also it drops with the Ingeum rules. So you have to defeat all the minions of a yellow pack, including the yellow guy, to get the extra globe. And here's the double Kadala. So in case you didn't know, Kadala has a 10% chance to give you an item, a legendary, and now it's 20%. Good part is here, there's a double primal at the bottom, and this one actually stacks. So the Kadala can give you 2 primals at once when you have the entire tree unlocked. And this already brings us to the last point here, which is the double primals. This works for all drops where you can get 1 extra random item, and it works for Kadala where you get an extra random item of the same item type. So if you gamble, for example, a helm, you will get a second helm, but not the same one necessarily. Then I also have a lot of people that ask me, what about the potion powers? So the first one, the best one by far, is the Father. This is here on the right, then you go to the one on the left, the Mother, and then the middle. The middle one is relatively useless. It's a nice little bonus, but you don't really care about it. The Mother potion is only really important in pushing. So you press the potion and you have this basically a copy of an Oculus ring in a different color. So this one is the cooldown one, I believe. So when you press a skill, it will tick down faster when you stand in it. Then there's the green one that gives you resource cost reduction, and then there's the purple one, which is the one you actually care about. This is the 100% extra damage. And this one stacks with Oculus. The thing is that if you're speed farming, you don't care about this really, so this is not really a high priority early on. And the last one is really not a priority at all, unless you want to get those double primals. So the main reason to unlock the entire thing with all the potions early is to get the double primals early, to get more drops, so that you can craft more primals. So with this new cube recipe at page 11, in case you haven't seen it yet, you need 100 primordial ashes, which is 2 salvage primals, a little bit less, and you can make an item into a primal that looks like this. So especially when it comes to deciding, do you want to take the second potion upgrade or do you want to upgrade your weapon first? It comes down to, Are you gonna speed farm a lot in the near future, or are you gonna push anytime soon? Like, you know, anything that's like slower than, let's say, 5 minutes. So in those cases, those rings are actually pretty helpful here. You jump in and you start blasting. But if you're just like rushing through rifts in 2 minutes, you don't really do that anyway. So in that case, it's really not such a bad idea to wait with the unlocking the altar and instead spend 2 primals to make a really big weapon like this, for example. So in my case, I have not found a single ancient yang yet at all. So this was a really good upgrade. But if you already have an item that is like ancient and has a decent affix and these kind of things, it's not really such a priority. So I'd rather go for the altar in that case. Now a few things about the unlocking requirements. So you see here this entire list of what you need. Most of it is very self-explanatory, but I get a lot of questions about the Tome of Set dungeons. So this is in Leroy's Manor in Act 1. You have to go here in this waypoint, go up into the mansion, and then on the like northwest side or so, there is this Tome of Set dungeons. I've already shown this in another video. And you go there with a full set equipped. You need to have the full bonus, so you can do it with a Ring of Royal Grandeur. And it needs to be 4 of the same class. So each class has 5 sets, and one of them does not have a set dungeon, which is the one that you got from the Hades gift. Those, like, all those new sets do not have one, so you have to do it with the other sets. So keep that in mind. Then, regarding the challenge with cash, I guess that is pretty obvious at this point. You have to wait until the second one, which is actually very soon from the point of this video. Certified Screams, 5% drop rate in any GR, in any tier, so you just need to grind. Ramadan's gifts, there is no way to speed up this grind. A lot of people ask me, is there anything you can do? The answer is no. You just have to go as fast as possible. So try to do very fast runs where you get a lot of loot, T16, GR90s especially, something like that. You will get this eventually. People also ask me about the Ancient Hellfire Amulet. There is no special recipe or something like that. You have to craft until you get an Ancient one, 10% chance. And then there's the Ancient Puzzle Ring. So a bit similar like this, 10% chance to get one Ancient. And yeah, I would not recommend trying to use bounty mods to get an Ancient Puzzle Ring. If you're stuck at this step, you have most of the altar already done. And then it's just like a few small things left, basically. So I wouldn't really go crazy on this. Just wait for it to drop. Eventually you will get, I have literally found like 5 or 6 of them already without trying really. And you can also try to gamble rings perhaps. So that is an option. If you're already kind of like geared up with your character, you can just gamble rings. That's a pretty good idea in general, actually, depending on how far you are with your progression. Or you can also use a primal one. So you can actually use this primal recipe in case you got a lot of primals or it just really doesn't drop, because yeah, this is probably the biggest RNG factor, the Ancient Puzzle. You can use this recipe if you have the leftover ashes and make it primal. And finally, the last topic that I got now is the Stuff of Hurting grind. So this is actually required at step 25, so right before the end of unlocking the entire altar. And yeah, the drop rates are really bad, so it can definitely take a while. For me, it took like something like 2 hours. I did like 50 kills or so for Chiltara in the Caverns of Frost. So some people get lucky, some people get unlucky. Apparently the drop rate is 6%. So keep that in mind. It's not really the greatest odds, and it can take a while if you don't get really lucky. And that already covers all the topics that I had here for this altar so far. If there's any other questions, let me know in the comments. I'll try to get back to them. And otherwise, hope everyone is enjoying the season. Let me know how it went for you and how you feel about the altar and saving or opening the cache. That would be quite interesting. And other than that, I have a bunch more uploads coming soon, so stay tuned for those. Hope you like this one, and see you guys next time.